we don't play that, people revolt. Our fans are, I'm not saying our fans are revolting or anything like that. Well, I would say they're going to be definitive as in respect of what I think, but I think definitive in respect of videos that changed, or singles, usually accompanied by a video, that just changed the sort of fares of Cradle of Filth and how we were viewed. So it would start quite late. It would miss out the first 4 records, even though they got belters on them. And obviously people would say, oh no, but if I didn't have Forest Whisper by name, you know, I wouldn't have been into the band. But I would have said from the Cradle to Enslave, which was like 5 years, only 5 years, but 5 albums later, 4 albums later, 3 albums and a long EP. It was our first video. We decided to do it full tilt, full bore with Alex Shandon, who then went on to, because we decided it was so good and so filmic and cinematic that we decided we could extend this and turn it into a movie, which we did with Cradle of Fear under his hellmanship too. And yeah, I think it was because it was pretty full on. 2 versions. Which in Europe, I mean, I remember being in Europe on the press trip for Midian, and they were playing it in a bar, like the full, you know, tits out, full bore version. But yeah, I think they got the band noticed a bit more because everybody was doing videos, and we tried to do one during the dusk period, and it was like we were taken to Birmingham, like it wasn't youth offenders, it was a drama place that somebody ran, but it was pathetic. It was like, he obviously said to his students, for this one day, we're going to be doing a Cradle of Filth video, so just come up with whatever. And obviously all these kids were just like, oh, fuck who? And they just decided to do something at the last minute. It was awful. We buried that. So yeah, it wasn't until 5 years after our first album came out that we actually did anything visual like that. I would say Her Ghost in the Fog, which is also directed by Alex Shandon, who did Cradle of Fear, as aforementioned. And this was a bit more MTV friendly. I think that was probably the mandate for it. Make sure it's not as full on as your first one if you want to live. Yeah. And it was kind of set around the idea of the Judder Man and sort of Bavarian folk tales and Impressionism, you know, Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, that sort of thing. Lots of cut out trees and lots of snow. I remember big petrol snow for about the whole afternoon. And that was around the same time I went on Nevermind the Buzzcocks, and then they aired that as well. So that was quite a big turning point for us. And yeah, we condemned, as with a few, to pay that song to the end of eternity because of that. So the third pick would be Babylon AD, So Glad for the Madness, which was done by the infamous Wiz and was based loosely on Salo's 120 Days of Sodom, or the movie Salo, sorry. Yeah. And yeah, at one point during the video, I turned around to him and said, I've been in the studio a long time. We're doing Damnation in a Day. It was on Sony's money. So we sort of spunk it on sports cars and stuff, which kind of wanted to. We hired this American producer who helped us create like this sort of big symphonic parts of the record. And so we went to Budapest and filmed with their movie and radio choir, 140 pieces, amazing, a fucking amazing week in Budapest. And yeah, so really burnt out from that. And then we were doing a video like the day before I flew out to India. And I was literally, they had to give me vodka because I was just starting to get shaky, not from alcohol, but I was just worn out. And I just remember like we were sitting backstage at this place and we were filming it in this really cold old school, beginning of December. And we were sitting like huddled around these heaters and that. And I remember Wiz just saying, and I said, no, he showed me some rushes and I said, are you sure these kids are over age? Because in the film, they're supposed to be very young. Yeah. And some of these people were looking a bit borderline. And also he really wanted to replicate the scene in the movie where people eat shit, literally eat shit. And it is in it, but I said, I'm all for this. but there's got to be a line drawn here. And he really wanted to push the video a little bit further. It's a great video, and I was actually, funny enough, strange story as well, I was in a mini garage buying a Mini for my wife. I think it was probably February at that point, and it was on, they were doing the top 40 rundown big week rundown, I think, where they did it Wednesday. And it came on. It was like, it was number 27 at the time in the charts, and they had to play the whole lot. And it was about 7.5 minutes long. And I just remember we were sitting and waiting for, you know, when you go to a mini garage, it's like all the BMW people are over there. And it's like, oh yes, would you like tea? Would you like coffee? Would you like, give, you know, my tongue further up your arse? And the mini people were just like waiting for ages. But when they realized I was on the radio, we got like preferential treatment. But yeah, the look of horror on most people's faces. I would say Nymphetamine, just because that's like our time-honoured track. If we don't play that, people revolt. Our fans are, I'm not saying our fans are revolting or anything like that. But yes, and it, again, another, Danny Jacobs was the director of that. He wanted very something simple and stylish. And yeah, he did it, and it was like a sort of MTV fave for a long time. My mum wants it played at a funeral.
Really?
Apparently so. But she'll be dead, so we can change the track list. The fifth one would be the current single, just because it's out now, and it came out a week ago. Embodies the season in which we're in, which is literally Halloween today. And yeah, a lot of people have said it's like a return to form. It's, you know, it's very catchy, very different from, and they're really connected with the video. And I could name, yeah, 5 or 6 other ones prior to that, but might as well plug it, eh? You know, you get a new Bad Religion album, you know what that's going to be like. You get a new Tool album, you know it's going to take 3 days out of your life. And you're never going to remember one song. You'll just go, oh, fucking hell, the drums are amazing, man. You heard the drums on this? You can't remember any of the songs. I don't know, I think we flaunt enough with within our genre. And mix it up. There's a lot of different stuff on this record. There's a very slow, grandiose, morose song. There's one that harkens back to sort of dusk sort of riffage, very fast and dissection-like. Yeah, it does get a bit difficult, but yeah, it's a new album, new songs. We try and give it a recording flavour as well, so each one sounds different, and we don't try and belt them out as much as we used to make them stand alone a little bit more.